Okay, in this video, I'm going to show you the new request process for a single artist application. So when you log in, you are going to either be defaulted or you're going to click this new request tab, and you're going to see a list of all your new requests. And typically they are sorted by the project type. So you might have new tattoo, tattoo continuation, flash, touch up, all of those are customized. So that's just an example of how this list might look to you. So in this one, you're going to see you have one new tattoo request, and under the days waiting, this is red. So after 7 days, it will turn red. This shows how long this request has been sitting in this list. If you scroll to the right, all of these fields are customized. So if you want something different showing here, just let me know and we can change it. And then if this city is different than your normal city, this will also change in color. And then if the client is traveling to that location, this will be red with a little car icon. If you want to view the details of this, you are going to go ahead and click this appointment or this request here. And you're going to see the details here as you scroll down. At the top, you're going to see this archive button. And what this does is it removes it from your list without importing it into the system. You would use this if, say, the client submitted duplicate requests and you don't need both of them, or if they emailed and said, I submit a request, I disregard it, I don't want to submit it anymore. You can just go ahead and click this and it'll remove it from your list. As we go down, you're going to see all of the basic client info, the request details, and all these photos, which you can click and view on. Everything again is going to be different based on your application, but these are pretty standard throughout all of the applications we build here. If you are wanting to approve it or deny it, you're going to click this little approval at the bottom right here. And the first tab is just going to reiterate some of the details. You typically don't need to make any edits here, but it does show you some of the details. And then you're going to want to go to the Approval Info tab. So here it's going to show you all of the required fields in order to continue. So here you're going to have approved, rejected, or more info needed. Based on what you pick, different fields are going to be required. And you can see that with the little asterisks here. If you go to rejected, and more info needed. So if we go to the approved, this is a request you've read, you like it, you want to move forward with it. You still might have questions about the request, but if you feel confident enough to estimate it, then I would recommend you do that as well as put your question here. Say you need a better picture of the arm or whatnot, you would put that here. So please send a straight on photo of your arm, for example. So in this field, you want to make sure not to include like, hi, client, and then like your name. You just want to include the paragraph. So just the body of your question. That's it. And then from here is the request priority. So this is how much you want to do it. So this comes into play with, say, you're opening your books and you have a bunch of requests and you want to be able to book by priority. This helps your booking assistant to know, okay, like I'm going to start with all the high priority ones and work my way backwards. And then this is if you want to book a consultation either in addition to or first. So let's say you want to book an in-person consult as well as and a session. So, and say you want it to be 6 hours, you might say book consult and tattoo session. And you might say book 1 hour consult. So that way I know that this session is also going to be a tattoo session and a consult. Say you don't want a consult, you might just do that and I don't need any scheduling notes. If you think, hey, I'm not 100% sure if this is going to take more, you might say may need 3 more hours, or you might say may need an extra session here. So that way when I communicate to the client, I can say, we're only going to book you for 1 session, but you may need a second one depending on decisions made during your session. Then here, you're going to decide if it's set rate or hourly. So if it's set rate, you're going to decide with whether it's by session or piece. 99% of the time, you're going to pick by session, or most artists pick by session. So what this means is I've got a 6-hour session, it's only 1 hour, and I'm going to charge $1,000 for that session. Note that when you see this, it's hard to tell, but this is basically a grayed out 0. And when I put my icon there, you can see it's in front of the 0. Whereas if I have an actual 0, it's at the end of it. So right now there is no value in either of these fields. So if I went to save it, it's going to tell me that there's an error. If I said, and I went ahead and did this, it's also going to tell me there's an error because this too has to be greater than this. But if I went and took that out, there is no value there. So if I save this now, it would not give me an error. Let's go ahead and take that out. And if I click save, this is actually accurate now. And you can see that this is slightly darker than that value. So let's get back to the session thing. So you're going to use this even if it's 2 and it's $1,000. This is what you're going to want to use. You're only going to use by piece if you're really unsure of how much time you need and you don't want to charge them more than say $2,000. So if you're okay with doing 3 sessions, 4 sessions, whatever, this is what you would select. So just be mindful that this is a little bit, kind of an asterisk warning that you don't want to use this too much because you're going to be tied into this number regardless of how many sessions you book. So most of the case, if it's one session, whether it's 3 hours, 6 hours, 2 hours, you're going to pick this option. So again, if you're not sure and you're like, I'm just going to charge them a set rate and I don't want them to have to pay more, you can do this. Or, say $1,000 to $2,000, you can do that. But in general, I recommend just set rate by session and then the amount here. If you want to charge an hourly rate, you're going to click hourly and $150. And whatever is in this amount, this gets sent to the client. So the client's going to get sent that you estimate it's going to take 4 to 6 hours, 2 sessions at $150 an hour. So moving on, we're going to go deposit type. We have 2 here, rolled or per session. So rolled is the traditional kind of $150, whether they book 1 session or 6, and then the $150 gets taken off the last appointment booked. If you want to charge by session, you're going to put in the amount that you want by session, and then it's going to tell the client that, you're booking 2 sessions, so we need a deposit of $150, and at each appointment, $75 is going to be taken off the total. So depending on how you want to do your deposits, you have that option there. Need more drawing time is if you just want kind of a caveat saying like, I don't want to book too many of these appointments in a week. Depending on how your books look, we can be mindful of that when booking. So you don't say have, 4 sleeves to draw in a week. And then this internal notes is usually messages for your booking assistant, or even to yourself. You can put something in here like, usually scheduling notes you would put up here. So you might say like, client is a friend or something general there that maybe isn't scheduling related. And then you just go ahead and you save it. And that's it. Now say you want to reject a request, say this is something you don't want to take on or you don't like the subject matter or whatever, you're going to click the rejected button and then you're just going to put a message here. You might say, thank you so much for your request. Unfortunately, I don't feel like I'm the right fit for this project. Or, you might just say not right fit, and then your booking assistant can fill it out more. So it really just depends if you want to personalize the message yourself or leave your booking assistant to put something more detailed in there. For more information needed, that might be if the request doesn't have everything you need to quote it or to really approve it. So, you might want, can you clarify some of the details? Can you send more pictures of your arm? Maybe they're asking for a cover up and you don't know if you can do it. This is where you're going to ask those kind of questions. So you would just put that sentence here. You'll notice that nothing else is required in that in either this option or this option. So you can just leave everything by default there and then save it. So this will let your booking assistant know how to proceed with the request next and how to follow up with that client.